I'm only 28, so for this kind of cancer to affect me at my age, the odds are more like 1 in a million, which just, mind blown. Like, that is crazy. And I guess you could say that I'm super unlucky, but at the same time, it's kind of been the only upside to this whole thing because I get to legitimately say that I am 1 in a million. I'm not quite sure how many people get to say that, but it's probably not many. So, silver linings. So I wanted to make this video for a couple reasons. One is just to share what's been going on since we got back from our trip. I know that I've been a little lax in posting stuff, finishing up all of the photos and videos from our bike tour, and a big part of that is because of all of this stuff that has been going on with my health. In addition to just like visiting friends and family all over the place, I've also been obviously going to a lot of doctor's appointments, having surgery, just kind of feeling icky from that surgery, not really having energy to do much while I was recovering. So that's one thing. That's the reason why. And another big reason why I wanted to share this with you is because of something that Justin said to me. He said that if this had happened to him, if he was in my position, that he probably wouldn't have gone to a doctor. He wouldn't have gotten it checked. Because number one, it was causing me no pain whatsoever. Number two, it really didn't affect my life at all. So why would you go to a doctor if you're not in pain and really everything's fine, basically? So I just wanted to share this story because honestly, he had convinced me that what was going on with my eye was no big deal. And I honestly almost put it off even longer to get it checked once we came back to the US. And I'm so glad and thankful that I did not do that, because even though I had kind of convinced myself that it was no big deal, it turned out to be a huge deal. And who knows what would have happened had I waited many more months to get it checked. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to share, not to scare anybody, absolutely not. But just that if you have a gut feeling about something, just listen to it. Whether it's health related or emotional or whatever it happens to be. I'm so glad that I listened to mine because I have now gotten it treated, taken care of, and hopefully, best case scenario, I'll never have to worry about this again for the rest of my life. And I can go on and do all the many other awesome things that I've been looking forward to doing in this life. So some things that have happened since I got that original diagnosis. One is that I had a CT scan to check if the cancer had metastasized, moved to any other parts of my body. And that was clear, so that's awesome. That was like one of the main things that I was worried about. And number two was that I have had my surgery to kill the tumor in my eye. So what they did for that was I went into the hospital. They put a radioactive disc at the back of my left eye, and I had to stay in the hospital for 4 full days while that disc was in. While the radiation was killing the tumor, the disc was literally like right on top of the tumor, so it's very targeted radiation. And then on day 5, they did another surgery to remove that radioactive plaque. They sewed up my eye and sent me home. And I've been recovering ever since. So right now I'm at the 3-week mark in my recovery. And I'm doing great. It was a little bit of a roller coaster for the first couple weeks. But now I don't really have any restrictions on what I can do. I have not tried to ride a bike yet after the one time I did that, and it really just like screwed up my recovery. But I'm hoping to get back into that really soon. But I have lots of energy. I can play sports and go for walks and all that kind of stuff. Emotionally speaking, I know I've talked a lot about the physical aspects of my cancer and treatment of it, but I know a lot of people ask, like, how are you doing? Like, how are you feeling? It's a huge, huge thing to be diagnosed with cancer. The word cancer is a very scary word, and it honestly took me a long time to be able to talk about it, without getting upset or anything, but I've now had like 2.5 months to process everything, and everybody processes it differently. It's a big thing to be diagnosed with something like this, especially as young as I am, so I'm not a religious person really by any means, but there's a saying, I'm sure a lot of you know, that God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. And whether you believe in God or not, totally up to you. But the point of that is I do believe in that. I believe that the universe wouldn't have given this to me if I couldn't handle it. And I look back on my life so far and all the things that I've done, and I really do think that everything in my life leading up to this point has enabled me to be able to get through this so much easier than I would have otherwise. So in the past 5 years, Justin and I have lived in China for 4 years, and then we did this trip this past year, and I have really learned and grown so much. I'm so much more confident in myself. I've learned that there's a lot of things that you can't change in life, that you kind of just have to learn to accept the things you can't change and change only those that you can, and not to worry about things that you have no control over. So I've really, when it came to this cancer treatment, I wasn't really worried about the treatment or anything that I couldn't control. All of that was really in the doctor's hands. I just was listening to them and doing just whatever was in my power to get better. And that was it. You never know what's going to happen in life. I certainly never would have expected to have cancer at 28, especially when I've been completely healthy my entire life. But shit happens. You just never know what this life is going to throw at you. And I have mostly felt really good throughout this whole thing, which has helped me stay so positive. That's definitely helped a lot. I've never felt like my life is over, this is the it, like none of that kind of stuff. Honestly, I really just feel super grateful and thankful, and that may sound like really cheesy, or you may be like, she's so full of shit, like you can't possibly be grateful for having cancer. And I don't mean it like I'm grateful for having cancer. I'm grateful for the timing of it, and I'm grateful for just all the situations in life that have led me up to this point to be able to deal with it in the way that I have. So what I mean by that, some specifics of what I am grateful for is, number one, I'm grateful to not still be living in China. Because if this had happened while we were still living in China, I honestly don't know if it even would have gotten diagnosed. Because it is so rare and just not a normal kind of cancer that people deal with. We were living in a smaller city in China. And so I really don't know if they even would have caught it. And even if they did, there is no way in heck that I would want to be going through cancer treatment in a foreign country. So that is number one thing. I'm so grateful that we were back in the US when this got diagnosed. Number two, I am so grateful that we happen to be staying with Justin's parents, who live not right next to, but very close to Duke University Hospital, which is one of the seven hospitals in the US that treat this kind of cancer. There's only 7 that even have doctors that can treat this. And we happen to live 40 minutes away. Well, Justin's parents happen to live 40 minutes away from one of those 7 hospitals, which is incredible. My doctors were telling me that Duke treats the entire southeast of the US. So imagine, like, if you're living in Florida, you would have to come all the way up to Durham, North Carolina to get treated if you had this cancer. Like, that's insane. And we're literally right here. So I'm so thankful for that. I literally have the best doctors in the country, possibly the world, treating me. So I love that I can totally trust my doctors. They're great. And I don't have any worries about that, which is incredible. The third thing that I'm super grateful for is, I mean, cancer is really scary and it's a really serious disease, but honestly, at least what I was diagnosed with is treatable. There are treatments for it, and at least that it's not, I mean, I just think it could have been worse. There are people out there in much worse situations than I am. It could have been a chronic disease that gets progressively worse and will affect me throughout my entire life. I'm so thankful that it's not that. Like I said, best case scenario, I've already gotten this treated and it will kill the tumor, nothing has spread, and that will be it. It's taken care of for the rest of my life. I mean, it's obviously possible that that's not it, but you know, you never know. So yeah, I am really just so grateful. I know that sounds super weird, but yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy that we got it taken care of, and that I'm now in a place that I can move on and do all the other cool things that I want to do in life. So as for the future, I'm sure that some of you are wondering, are you still going to hike the Appalachian Trail? For anybody who doesn't know, that was our original plan for this year before all this stuff with my eye happened. And the answer to that is yes, we are still going to hike the Appalachian Trail. I have talked with the doctors about it and they don't see any problem with it, provided that I wear these glasses for protection of both of my eyes. The glasses just help to keep things from getting into my eye and also from me poking my eye on things while we're hiking. So what I've discovered when we've done some like little day hikes in the past couple months is because I don't have any peripheral vision out of this eye, it's actually very, very easy for me to poke myself in the eye with branches because I can't see them over here. Like I can't see. So yeah, at first when he told me that, I was kind of like, really? Like, I haven't been wearing glasses this whole time and it's been fine and I don't need them for vision correction. But now I get it. Because when you have a literal blind spot, it's very easy for stuff to literally come out of nowhere at you and poke you in the eye because you can't see it. So I will be wearing glasses while we're hiking. It's not really that big of a deal, honestly, because when I'm outside most of the time, I'm wearing sunglasses anyway. So, yeah, not that big a deal. But yeah, they don't see any problem with that. I'm 100% healthy in every other way. And they're actually really excited for us to do it so that I can come back and show them pictures at my follow-up appointments and stuff. So yeah, they really encouraged us to still do that. So that's what we're doing. And we have been planning and preparing for that hike for the past couple months. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for caring. And I will see you this year on the AT.